In early 2023, a new game called Palworld burst onto the gaming scene, developed by the relatively small Japanese studio Pocket. Marketed as an open-world survival game with creature-collecting mechanics, Palworld quickly drew comparisons to Nintendo's iconic Pokémon franchise due to its creature designs and gameplay elements. What started as casual comparisons soon escalated into a full-blown controversy, involving legal threats, lawsuits, community backlash, and debates about creativity, intellectual property, and corporate power in the gaming industry. This is the story of a Nintendo versus Palworld conflict, a saga that has captivated gamers, developers, and legal analysts alike, stretching from Palworld's release to the latest developments as of July 29, 2025. Background: the rise of Palworld. What is Palworld? Palworld, developed by Pocket, a Tokyo-based indie studio, was first announced in 2021 with a trailer showcasing a vibrant open-world game where players could collect, train, and battle creatures called pals. Unlike Pokémon, which focuses on turn-based battles and a family-friendly aesthetic, Palworld leaned into darker, more mature themes. Players could arm their pals with weapons, engage in survival mechanics like crafting and base building, and even exploit pals for labor or combat in ways that pushed ethical boundaries. The game's tagline, often summarized as Pokémon with guns, captured its unique blend of cute creatures and gritty survival elements. The game entered early access on January 19, 2024, via Steam and Xbox Game Pass, and its launch was a phenomenon. Within days, Palworld sold over 5 million copies, peaked at 1.8 million concurrent players on Steam, and became one of the most played games of 2024. Its success was attributed to its fresh take on the creature-collecting genre, robust multiplayer features, and a viral buzz surrounding its unconventional mechanics. Nintendo and Pokémon, the industry giants. Nintendo, alongside the Pokémon Company, a joint venture between Nintendo, Game Freak, and Creatures Incorporated, is a titan in the gaming world. The Pokémon franchise, launched in 1996, is one of the most successful media franchises globally, encompassing video games, anime, trading cards, and merchandise. By 2024, Pokémon had generated over $150 billion in revenue, with its creature designs and intellectual property, IP, fiercely protected by Nintendo's legal team, known for its aggressive stance against perceived infringements. Nintendo's history of legal action is well documented, from shutting down fan games like Pokémon Uranium to issuing takedowns against ROM sites and mods. This reputation set the stage for the inevitable scrutiny of Palworld, a game that, to many, resembled Pokémon too closely for comfort. The spark: initial comparisons and controversy. Early reactions to Palworld. When Palworld's trailers dropped in 2021 and 2022, gamers and media outlets immediately noted similarities to Pokémon. The pals, while distinct in some ways, shared visual traits with Pokémon: colorful, expressive creatures with elemental themes and anthropomorphic features. For example, Palworld's Lamall resembled Pokémon's Wooloo, a sheep-like creature, and Depresso echoed Esper's melancholic feline vibe. These comparisons were initially lighthearted, with memes and X-posts joking about Palworld as Pokémon with an edge. However, as Palworld's early access launch approached in January 2024, the tone shifted. Critics and fans began dissecting the game's assets, accusing Pocket of copying or modifying Pokémon designs. Social media platforms, particularly X, exploded with side-by-side comparisons of pals and Pokémon, fueling speculation that Pocket had used Pokémon models as a basis or even employed AI to generate derivative designs. Pocket denied these claims, stating that Palworld was inspired by multiple creature-collecting games, including Pokémon, Digimon, and Ark. Survival Evolved, but was an original creation. Nintendo's first response. On January 25, 2024, just days after Palworld's explosive launch, the Pokémon Company issued a statement on its website, addressing the comparisons. The statement read, "We have received many inquiries regarding another company's game released in January 2024. We have not granted any permission for the use of Pokémon intellectual property or assets in that game. We intend to investigate and take appropriate measures to address any acts that infringe on intellectual property rights related to Pokémon." This was widely interpreted as a direct reference to Palworld, though neither Nintendo nor the Pokémon Company named the game explicitly. The statement sent shockwaves through the gaming community, with X users debating whether Nintendo was preparing to sue Pocket or simply issuing a warning. Some saw it as Nintendo's typical heavy-handed approach, while others argued that protecting their IP was justified given Palworld's similarities. Escalation: the legal battle begins. Nintendo's lawsuit, September 2024. 4 months after the Pokémon Company's statement, the situation remained tense but quiet, with no immediate legal action. Pocket continued to update Palworld, adding new pals, features, and multiplayer enhancements, while maintaining that their game was legally distinct. However, on September 18, 2024, Nintendo and the Pokémon Company filed a patent infringement lawsuit against Poképair in the Tokyo District Court. The lawsuit focused not on copyright infringement, as many expected, but on patent violations. Specifically, Nintendo claimed that Palworld infringed on 3 Japanese patents related to Pokémon's gameplay mechanics, including Patent JP754-1289, covering the mechanic of capturing creatures in a virtual environment using a throwable device, akin to a Pokeball. Patent JP729-0920, related to the system of battling and training creatures in an open-world setting. Patent JP701-3456, pertaining to the integration of creature collection with multiplayer interactions. Nintendo and the Pokémon Company sought an injunction to halt Palworld's distribution in Japan and damages of 5 billion yen, approximately $33 million. The lawsuit argued that Palworld's core mechanics were too similar to Pokémon's patented systems, even if the creature designs were legally distinct. Poképair's defense. Poképair responded on September 19, 2024, with a public statement expressing surprise at the lawsuit. They claimed to be unaware of the specific patents in question and vowed to fight the case. We are deeply saddened by this action from Nintendo and the Pokémon Company. Palworld is an original game created by our team to bring a fresh perspective to the creature collecting genre. We respect intellectual property rights and will conduct a thorough investigation to defend our work. Poképair hired a prominent Japanese law firm specializing in IP disputes and began preparing a defense centered on the argument that the patents were overly broad. They contended that mechanics like capturing creatures or battling in an open world were common to many games and not exclusive to Pokémon. They also emphasized that Palworld's survival and crafting elements, as well as its darker tone, set it apart from Nintendo's franchise. Community and industry reactions. The lawsuit ignited fierce debates across gaming communities. On X, hashtags like #Palworld vs. Nintendo and #FreePalworld trended for weeks. Supporters of Poképair argued that Nintendo was bullying a smaller studio to stifle competition, pointing out that Pokémon itself drew inspiration from earlier games like Dragon Quest V. Critics of Palworld, however, accused Poképair of profiting off Pokémon's legacy, with some claiming the similarities were too blatant to be coincidental. Major gaming outlets covered the controversy extensively. IGN published an article titled, Nintendo vs. Palworld, the patent war that could reshape creature collecting games, while Kotaku ran a piece called, Is Palworld Too Close to Pokémon? The community is divided. YouTubers and streamers, including Legal Eagle and Yonya, analyzed the legal merits of the case, with many noting that patent lawsuits are harder to prove than copyright claims, but could have broader implications for the gaming industry. The legal battle unfolds, 2024 to 2025. Court proceedings and public scrutiny. Throughout late 2024, the Tokyo District Court case progressed slowly, with both sides submitting extensive documentation. Nintendo's legal team presented evidence comparing Palworld's mechanics to Pokémon's, including gameplay footage and technical breakdowns of the capture and battle systems. Poképair countered with examples of other games, such as Shin Megami Tensei and Monster Hunter, that used similar mechanics, arguing that Nintendo's patents were too vague to enforce exclusively. Public sentiment remained polarized. A vocal group of Palworld fans launched a petition on change.org titled, Support Poképair Against Nintendo's Lawsuit, which garnered over 100,000 signatures by December 2024. Meanwhile, Pokémon fans accused Poképair of exploiting Nintendo's IP for profit, with some organizing boycotts of Palworld on social media. Allegations of harassment. The controversy took a darker turn in late 2024 when Poképair reported receiving death threats and harassing messages directed at its developers. CEO Takuro Mizobi tweeted on X in October 2024, We are grateful for the support of our fans, but we are disheartened by the threats and harassment our team has faced. We ask for understanding and respect as we navigate this legal process. Nintendo and the Pokémon Company issued a joint statement condemning harassment and distancing themselves from any such behavior, emphasizing that their dispute was legal, not personal. The incident highlighted the toxic undercurrents in gaming fandoms, with X posts amplifying both support and vitriol for both sides. Developments in 2025. By early 2025, the lawsuit remained unresolved, but new developments kept the story in the headlines. In February 2025, Poképair released a major Palworld update, introducing new pals and a PvP arena mode, which some saw as a bold move to assert confidence amid the legal battle. The update pushed Palworld sales past 15 million copies, further cementing its commercial success. In April 2025, a leaked court document, later verified by Reuters, revealed that Nintendo had expanded its lawsuit to include additional claims of trade dress infringement, arguing that Palworld's marketing and visual style mimic Pokémon's branding. Poképair's legal team called the new claims baseless and filed a countersuit, alleging that Nintendo's aggressive tactics constituted anti-competitive behavior under Japanese law. As of July 29, 2025, the Tokyo District Court has not issued a final ruling. Legal analysts predict that the case could drag on into 2026, given the complexity of patent law and the international scope of Palworld's distribution. Both sides have reportedly engaged in settlement talks, but no agreement has been reached. Broader implications. Impact on the gaming industry. The Nintendo versus Palworld conflict has raised critical questions about intellectual property in gaming. Patents on gameplay mechanics are relatively rare, and Nintendo's use of them has sparked debate about whether such patents stifle innovation. Developers of other creature-collecting games, such as Temtem and Cassette Beasts, have expressed concern that a Nintendo victory could limit their creative freedom. Conversely, a Pocket Pair win could embolden indie studios to challenge established franchises. Community and cultural impact. The controversy has also highlighted the passionate divide within gaming communities. Palworld's success has shown that there's a market for edgier takes on the creature-collecting genre, challenging Pokémon's dominance. However, it has also underscored Nintendo's influence and willingness to protect its IP, reinforcing its reputation as a formidable legal force. Pocket Pair's resilience. Despite the lawsuit, Pocket Pair has continued to thrive. In June 2025, the studio announced a Palworld animated series in collaboration with a Japanese studio, signaling their intent to expand the IP. They've also teased a mobile version of the game, though no release date has been confirmed as of July 29, 2025.